And therefore, following the thoughts that comes again and again, following the dreams that comes again and again, following the inner call will ultimately land one's being to its center, to its core. The mere act of simply following one's dream, the deeper calling of the heart, often called as hobbies, are the inner callings, are the ones that come as a part of fragrance as the flowering goes on, as one grows on. Kuntha or repression are the energies which goes on building up against this inner calling. For example, there are some acts, there are some incidents, there are some moments that you do not want to happen, yet that happens. And there is a certain repression, and there is a certain not wanting to have experienced those incidents, those moments. Whenever there is a following of the hobby, a magic starts to happen. When you are playing, the mind forgets time. When you are playing, the time ceases to be. And this is a mystical experience. If one is awakened to one's own characters, one's own acts, it is clearly seen that there is a certain distance between the act and the actor. But the path is by making the life itself a play. Acts in one's life as play. Because play. Play and act are not two different things. The root of both is same. A drama is also a play, and people sometimes show drama in front of each other. Someone showing off of the anger, we call it a drama. So the root is similar. Be it act that you are playing with your personalities, or be it drama, be it play, the root goes straight to the one that is playing, the one that is acting, the one that is the actor, the one that is having a personality. So the easiest path is by following what comes as a deeper call, be it art, be it gardening, be it teaching, be it traveling, whatever calls the most. Indeed, only when life is play, it is spontaneous, or when it is spontaneous, life appears as a play. As a kid, a lot of us got chance to go out and play with friends, hide and seek, or football, or badminton, or simply throwing rocks at the pond, or going to a river for swimming. Whatever act we did was out of spontaneity, and hence it became a play. But there are situations in life when the very play that felt as a play, when becomes a profession, when becomes a work, it starts becoming boring. Then it is, as gurus say, simply to cover the formality. And likewise by the acceptance of the existence with ease, acceptance of all of one's existence with ease, it is possible to arrive to the same point, that the work, the job, the state of life, the state of mind, all of them with their responsibility brings you much closer to you, your higher self, your inner self, to your core, to you without stories, to you as the witness. following of the hobby, or with responsibility and with acceptance, converting one's profession, one's job, one's work to the play. Either way, there is going to be something that is being done. The act is continuing. Be it work, be it play, the act is continuing, and the act has been continuing since forever. In the act, one is not alone, which is why if there is someone else in the room, there is murmuring of words, there is showing that one is present, presence of anyone else, and the conversation starts and the memories are triggered. And that is also true for the presence of someone else in the room or in the mind. If there is someone's name, someone's thought in the mind, then the story follows. Then the act is inside of the mind. Be it the act of the past, or be it the act of the imagination, of the present, of the speculations, whatever the case, be it in the imaginations, in the thoughts, in the memories, or be it in the reality, the act is going on. So, following the hobbies will ease the path by not making the mind bored, because the mind will constantly enjoy the spontaneity. But the case is to be aware, the case is to be the constant witness of both of these phenomena, either play or work. Say you like to sing and your work, your profession is a writer. Then whenever you feel bored after writing much, you see the boredom, and for a while try to see it as a part of this very existence. And you also see that with this boredom, the collection of this boredom is actually what makes your singing enjoyable, beautiful. So in this way, the witnessing witnesses up to the point where the boredom from the work and the enjoyment from the play are both in the distance. And at this point, the work and the boredom produced from the work is seen as the force, as the negative force, as the required momentum, as the required potential energy for the fun of the play. Both are part of one same cycle. So, if you analyze your hobbies, there is something that is giving the force for your hobbies, giving the energy, making the point, making the space for your hobbies. And like that, your hobbies and your work are actually not two but one. Also by realizing your characters, also by having an acceptance towards your work starts to become play. In my experience, I have converted my work into play by few tricks. I liked to play with soap and water, but I did not like washing clothes or washing dishes. Then by combining to my liking of soap and water, I convinced my mind by constantly repeating that I like washing dishes. Then indeed, after some months, I started liking the process of washing the dishes. And this is true for entire process of internal transformation. This is also known as auto-hypnosis or self-hypnosis. And by following your hobby, by continuously doing what you like to do, you fall into a state of trance, you fall into a state of meditation, and you arrive to a point where you can see that things are being done and you are the witness. The art is being drawn. Doctors know that the procedure of operation is being done. They are so aware that the process is visible. And this is true to athletic runners who are pushing all the limits of their body to run. They also arrive to this threshold and see that the body is running. This is true to the dancers who also see that their body is dancing. This is true to the actors who also see that their body is acting. This is true to everybody. And if your work is boring, and on the top of that, if you realize that this boredom creates the momentum of the enjoyment, then the boredom also becomes the enjoyment. So in this way, things are intertwined with each other. Right here, right there, in places, things are intertwined. Those who follows their hobby seem at ease in their life. They seem to be doing what they like. They seem to be enjoying what they do. They seem to be flowering in their own way, as if the creation itself wanted them to do what they do. Those who could follow their passion seem really happy in their lives. And those who had to do something else, most of them came to a dis-ease, a state of dis-ease called midlife crisis, and they had to change their jobs to finally follow what they want to do, and then afterwards started flowering. The key of meditation, the key of accepting one's all responsibility and letting all the things go will also bring one to the same bliss. Because these are not separate stories. These are one story. And after all, it does not matter what one does. Death will take everything away apart. Deep sleep will take everything away. A deep state of unconscious, a deep coma will take away everything apart. Every night the existence takes away everything apart from you. So, once in a while, even if it's impossible for all the time, once in a while, do what you like to do what you love to do, and become a witness what happens afterwards. And actually, if you want to sing, if you love singing, then try singing for a few days. Try singing to at least 3 to 4 days, and you will start to feel bored. You start to feel bored on singing as well. The singing becomes habit, the singing becomes a routine, and it turns into boredom. Then you need a gap from that too. Whatever you have had, whatever you accomplished, whatever you get, starts to become boring sooner or later. So, meditation will also start becoming boring because you try to do something and that starts to become boring. Then you want to rest from that too. God gave 6 days of ultimate boredom and 1 day of sleeping, a complete rest. Or say, a need of human biomechanics created that. Or say, a societal system created that. A human mind is bound to need some rest from everything, and death is the final rest. Meditation is the constant rest, hence constant awareness of the constantly happening death. Humans are naturally beings that gets bored from anything. It is so much inbuilt into the nature of humans that they get bored. So, enjoy the boredom, even if it's your work, even if your play becomes work, and even if your work becomes play. Either way, something is going to get boring, something is going to get you bored, and probably something will get you bored to death. I have met some people, some very old people, who said they are now bored, they are simply waiting for their death. And actually everyone is waiting for their death. And only because the mind gets bored with everything, people go on celebrating things, go on doing activities in their life, go on creating things, go on doing something to escape from this boredom. And hobbies are the greatest escape from all the boredoms. If you follow your hobby, you feel, you experience differently, as if the time is completely gone. Hence the state of meditation. So many gurus have said, many masters have said, many sannyasins, yogins have said that at the state of meditation, at the ghatana, the accident of meditation, the state of boredom and the state of enjoyment becomes one, as if those two were melted into one pot. And with my own experience, the state becomes as if there is the fear, as if there is the love at the same time, as if there is something over the heart and as if the heart was free. All the emotions are melted into one pot, one thing. We had some questions today about boredom, about enjoyment, about work and play. Actually, you have work and that's why you enjoy your play. You have boredom, that's why you have enjoyment. The phenomenon is that you have. The phenomenon is that you are. The phenomenon is that you are able to witness both. You are able to witness when you are crying and you are able to witness when you are extremely happy and smiling. You are able to witness yourself in any given situation, and that is the only thing that you can witness at all. And this witnessing, the one that witnesses from within you to without you, and from without you to within you, that very thing we called the consciousness. And it expands from within you to without you, to within me to without me, to within me and without me of all the beings in this planet, without exception. And this ever-knowing and this ever-present phenomenon, this extremely non-understandable phenomenon that is going on, and because of the vastness of non-understanding, non-knowing, and the vastness and the vast possibility of misunderstanding, misinterpreting, with the mixture of these two we have created God. God is this firewall from beyond which we know that we do not know. God is the very energy required to solve the equation, to settle the mind, to accept the presence of the unknown. And the witness that witnesses everything from within you also witnesses about this unknown. A Babu has asked about unknown, about not knowing, about state of not knowing. The state of unknowing is the only thing that is ever present. And the state of knowing is merely some dust over the state of unknowing. Scientists say that the universe is actually hugely dark, unknown. This unknown they call dark matter, and the entire universe is filled with this thing. The unknown is vastly larger than the known. The space in the atom is extremely large than the particles. And this is equally true to the planets and the space between them, to the galaxies and the space between them, to the universes and the space between them, to the multiverses and space between them, to the multi-cosmos and space within them, and to the multi-creation and space within them. It can go as far as we want to go. The unknown has always reigned over all the known. Just speculate, just think for a while, just imagine for a while. Your name was given to you by someone else, but you. Someone else but you. Someone else who you came into this world from. Someone gave you your body. It is as if you sprouted into this universe, exactly like the flower that sprouts in your earthen pot, in your gamala. You have sprouted, and likewise your name has sprouted into this existence. And like the flower that wears off and dies, your physical body will follow the same pattern, and your memory of this world and the memory of you into many people of this world will also slowly fade away into the unknown. It is as if the universe, the creation, is playing a rhythm of existing and non-existing, existing and non-existing, one and the zero. And this pattern is seen everywhere, starting from your thoughts, to starting from stories. In fact, all the thoughts, all the happening, all the incidents, all the lives ever present and that ever will present, ever will be present, are all stories that made some sound starting from silence and went back into silence. It sprouted from nothingness and went into nothingness. And we know nothing about that. We do not know about so many people and so many lives that have lived in this planet before us. And we only know about few who are able to write about themselves. And we call that history, or about someone about whom it was written, and we call that history, we call that biography. And it is said that histories are written by those who won, and the stories of those who lost were not written. The good stories, the lives of whom we thought were our enemies, the good stories, the stories of their love, the stories of their donation, the stories of their happiness were not written. And the sad stories and the bad stories of the winners in the history were not written. They could have been cruel in their life, and that stories were not written. Ram is worshipped for Maryada Purushottam, for the idealistic manhood, idealistic manness, idealistic form, avatar of the God, but not worshipped for what he did to his own wife, for his mistrust in his own wife. He is not worshipped for that. And indeed all of these are various stories that came from nothing and went into nothingness. We do not know what really happened because we cannot know. And this is why this is also a satsang of deep love, a satsang of deep Maya, starting from zero, that ends into zero. And which is why our satsang usually ends at midnight, at 0000, from where the moment when yesterday finishes and the moment when tomorrow starts. And we join our hearts, and we join our minds, and we join our consciousness into this sprouting point from where everything has been sprouting all along. And yet we do not know from where it starts and from where it starts to end. And by this realization we are always at 0000. We are always at the starting point. We are always here and now. So the stories can come from any point. Questions can come from any point. Questions and stories come from various levels of minds and bodies, and it does not matter. They are stories too. Questions are stories too. This much for today.